Let us journey back to the revered year 1470, high among the ancient mountains of Thessaly, where a single quiet bell whispers its gentle farewell over a valley suspended in breathless anticipation. In that silent pause, sacred stories begin, and the echoes of faith carve lasting hope within hearts willing to listen and remember. Within the weathered stone walls of St. Catherine's Convent, 23 humble sisters bow their heads in morning prayer. This daily ritual, once simple and serene, now lingers heavy with the taste of ash and sorrow as their prayers rise up through ancient halls, echoing hope and faith despite all that the world has endured. Far from the gentle rest they long for, the horizon glows with a deep crimson. It is not the promise of a new dawn. Rather, it is the ever-advancing shadow of an empire moving forward, relentless and unyielding, threatening all that stands before it and testing the faith of every heart that witnesses. The Ottomans approach not with the ordinary pace of men, but like the unstoppable flow of river and the devouring force of flame, sweeping across great lands and leaving vanished kingdoms in their wake, reminding us how history's tides, like God's will, can sweep away even the proudest empires in sacred silence. Abbess Ilani, both shepherd and servant, steadies her trembling hands around a silver crucifix that shines with the memory of countless prayers. Her courage grows not from lack of fear, but from sacred knowledge, the burden she bears, and the obedience to what her heart knows God is calling her to fulfill. The sisters, cloaked in the heavy shadow of impending doom, realize that what lies before them is far greater than simple death. Rather, the unknown fate awaiting them holds an even greater weight, as if death itself would be a gentle mercy compared to the ordeal that now surrounds their spirits. Their story, wiped from familiar memories, long faded and hidden beneath centuries of thick silence, now emerges to be seen. We are called to remember not only their loss or conquest, but the chilling, deliberate erasure, almost invisible, yet so carefully designed that silenced their voices. We must bear witness and remember. Why do some stories echo so powerfully through the ages, while others are scattered like chaff in the passing wind? You have come seeking the wisdom of long-forgotten voices, ready to let ancient memories awaken and teach your soul, to discover lessons hidden within the silence of what once was cherished and remembered. Here, within these ancient archives, we gently lift the shadows that time has laid upon forgotten letters and hidden records, so every faint echo from the past can awaken anew, guiding us today as living voices offering wisdom, comfort, and hope to every soul searching for meaning or light on their path. The bell falls silent and the air grows heavy, as if all of creation holds its breath. The doors brace not just for violence, but for a storm born of design, an engineered silence that reverberates through the ages, asking us to listen for what truly matters in the quiet aftermath. 17 years before these events, the world watched in disbelief as the heart of Christendom was shaken to its core. Constantinople, the magnificent city hallowed by centuries, fell to Ottoman might and flame, closing an era, casting Christendom into grief, yet also sowing seeds for new faith and hope to arise. The Hagia Sophia stands as a sanctuary where heavenly hymns once rose to the heavens. Crosses vanished in but a single day. Images painted with sacred hands vanished beneath foreign plaster. Bell voices silenced and transformed, melted quietly into the relentless forge of history. Still, memory whispers blessings through silent marble halls. Within a single week, the minarets sent their aching wails over the city where ancient psalms had once soared, and Sultan Mehmed stood among shattered relics, realizing that true conquest, deeper than swords or armies, is the silencing of memory, replacing holy echoes with new prayers, forging destiny from the ashes of devotion. True victory, he discerned, did not simply mean to defeat or slay an enemy. It was to unmake the very essence, to dissolve and transform identity, erasing every ripple until only silence remained. In this lesson, he saw that conquest carries a sacred responsibility, echoing through hearts and the quiet aftermath of every struggle. Across the sprawling lands of the West, every stubborn bell and every cloistered prayer rose to challenge the shadow of oblivion, faithful nuns clinging to ancient Latin liturgies, defying even the threat of swords by offering whispered faith. In their sacred defiance, they became living guardians of hope and light through storm and darkness. The Sultan proclaimed with chilling finality that if the faithful would not renounce their faith and convert, they would be made to simply fade away, not remembered as inspiring martyrs, not even left as bodies, but transformed into haunting absences, as if they had never existed. Thus, their legacy would be silence. Martyrs are often remembered in legend, yet the Ottomans, masters of quiet power, learned to erase even memory itself. No stories lingered in the wind. No songs survived. Just silent voids where hope once lived. Their victory was unseen, yet the absence left behind shaped destinies in sacred and solemn ways. By 1470, this strategy has swept through monasteries and holy churches. Not every sacred place was destroyed by fire. Some were simply unmade, or silenced with time. The prayers that lingered in these ancient halls grew faint and distant, echoing softly, reminding all of faith's endurance and the power of spiritual resilience. The pattern was meticulous, an offer of compliance, a carefully orchestrated withdrawal, then a chilling silence where sanctuaries once overflowed with hope and praise. In the ebbing echoes, we are invited to examine not merely the ritual, but the yearning in our hearts, to rediscover trust and welcome sacred music again. St. Catherine's, built in distant seclusion, quietly awaited its place in history, a seemingly minor stanza in the great empire's expanding litany, but within her ancient stone walls, life, hope, and spiritual courage quietly flourished, reminding all who entered that even the humble can shape the eternal narrative of faith and legacy. These women were not warriors in the traditional sense. Instead, their greatest defense was a determined faith. Their sacred armor was crafted from moments of quiet surrender, the language of prayers whispered in darkness, and a resilient hope rising gently from sorrow's soil, enduring and lifting them beyond despair each day. For 12 remarkable years as abbess, Sister Ilani gently comforted the sick and dying within villages left empty by plague, drawing closer to God as she searched for profound meaning in devastation, never simply fleeing shadow but bringing light. Her compassion shining where hope seemed lost, reminding hearts that even ruin can hold purpose. Young Magdalena bore the ache of losing her family to violent raids, her hands once roughened by weary farm labor, now made gentle through the healing power of humble prayer. Her heart, previously heavy with sorrow and longing, was lovingly molded by faith into a vessel of hope, compassion, and sacred resilience. Elderly Theodora, seasoned by 70 winters and a tapestry of hardship, witnessed rulers rise and fall, abbesses administer with austere hands, and countless conflicts test her soul. Yet her heart's devotion to God made her spirit unbowed, even as her fragile, faithful body neared the final release long promised by her faith. No nun in this sanctuary had ever stood before a mighty empire pressing at the door. Yet within this crucible of dread and hope, the true lesson of faith shone forth. From steadfast hearts springs the boldest act, refusing to let darkness erase or diminish the sacred name inscribed upon your soul. Then, as dawn tore the sky's darkness, the first cannonball arrived, a scarring scream echoing through centuries, tearing the bell in two, ending the sacred rhythm passed quietly among generations. In that single powerful instant, the world changed, and the town's heartbeat was lost, calling us to ponder what sacred rhythms we still protect today. Once a sanctuary for healing, the herb gardens were suddenly blasted with debris, their nurturing peace shattered. The sisters recoiled as chaos thundered overhead, trembling in awe and fear. Where gentle hands once nourished the land, violence now carved wounds into the soil, a tragic reminder that peace can be fragile and fleeting. Sister Ilani did not wail, but instead lifted her crucifix high and sang the ancient Kyrie eleison prayer, Lord have mercy, beseeching hope. Her courageous voice became like a shining beacon of unwavering faith, defying darkness, turning night into a sanctuary of holy light, and reminding every soul present there of God's mercy and presence. One by one, hopeful voices joined hers as 23 courageous souls rose defiantly above the storm and shadow cast by empire. Their song carried the weight of faith and longing, yet even so, steel and fire rarely paused to listen or show mercy. Still, something holy lingered amid the echoing anthem. By midday, the gates crumbled and the city fell. Soldiers entered silently, not with blades lifted for war, but carrying ledgers and quills. They recorded souls as numbers, reduced women to property, and measured faith as inventory, turning sacred lives and deep beliefs into simple figures on their lists. A translator, the restless, wayward son of these ancient hills, uttered the Sultan's edict aloud. In a trembling voice heavy with sorrow and shame, he declared mercy and protection for those who yield, and grave consequences awaiting those who choose to stand firm. Choices hung heavy in the sacred silence. Abbess Ilani answered with unwavering clarity and strength, declaring, "We serve a king already, and nothing left is yours to claim." Her words spoke not for the fleeting ambitions of empires or mortals, but echoed with the courage of truth and loyalty, an eternal proclamation resonating through hearts across generations for the glory of the true king. Hassan Pasha, the relentless commander, watched her with a chilling, knowing smile, aware of how to break hearts, bodies, and spirits, without shedding a single drop of blood or ever needing to carve a saint. His understanding was profound, a mastery in inflicting silent wounds while maintaining a ruthless, commanding presence. That sacred night, the sisters were sealed within their quiet chapel, surrounded by silence as hunger, thirst, and dread pressed from every side. Outside, life continued, a distant echo. Their faith became air, sustaining them as they waited, hearts longing and patient, trusting God's hidden purpose beyond the thick, impenetrable doors. The two youngest children whimper in despair, their hearts aching. But Magdalena, heart stripped bare, lifts her trembling voice and begins to recite, "The Lord is my shepherd." Through this sacred psalm, hope weaves gently into the darkness, tenderly gathering others from their tears and sorrow toward the gentle light of faith. Slowly, prayer replaces panic in the hearts of the faithful. Where soldiers saw only suffering and loss, the women witnessed the routines of devotion. Every whispered petition, their act of daily discipline, now transformed into a radiant shield. Through sacred habit, the power of faith grows strong, outlasting every storm with persevering hope. Hassan watched in silence, remembering countless times he had seen the flame of faith glow brightest just before the shadow of extinction fell. Trained through struggle and conquest, his patience became a steadfast shield, for he knew that even the strongest resolve might reveal its hidden cracks in moments of great trial. On the second day, bread and water were delivered to them, a subtle test, clothed in gentle kindness, yet designed to tempt their hearts toward surrender. Through prayerful trust and Theodora's wise counsel, the sisters quietly chose to fast, learning that every act of faith and sacrifice refines the soul's devotion. Their restraint blazed like a sacred fire, cracked lips, trembling hands, hunger swirling deeper, yet not a single heart surrendered. Through every quiet ache, every silent plea for relief, they showed humility and courage. Though empire pressed on them, they stood together, unbroken, firm in purpose, a living testament to spiritual endurance. Hassan's respect for his adversaries shifted between grudging admiration for their cleverness and quiet frustration over setbacks. In the great chessboard of life, tactics may hold the line, but only wisdom and courage and strategy could move destinies forward. Hassan sensed it was now time to rise and press onward. On the third day, Hassan entered not as a conqueror with threats, but as one bearing promises. He spoke gently, offering true mercy and hope, promising new beginnings, a lighter burden for every heart willing to listen and answer sincerely, extending a vision of peace to all who would quietly submit and trust his guidance. Alternatively, imagine embarking on a sacred journey to Constantinople, a test not merely of strength but spirit, where only those who endure the trials of endurance and walk in faith would reach the Sultan's solemn judgment. Every mile becomes a living lesson in perseverance, hope, and the triumph of unyielding devotion over hardship and uncertainty. Ilani, with her sisters beside her, battered, bowed, yet never truly defeated, responded with faith that burned in her gaze. "We will walk." Into whatever awaited, they stepped forward, hope illuminating their footsteps, even as the hallway shadow stretched before them, whispering a prophecy only courage and unity could fulfill. Night's velvet darkness enveloped the chapel, and Magdalena, weary beyond measure, breathed out a humble Vespers hymn, her soft melody, barely more than a murmur, kindled trembling bravery. One by one, others joined her, voices weaving upward, hope rising more stubborn than chains in their captivity, faith echoing amid shadow and silence. Outside, even hardened soldiers paused under the open sky to listen. The echo of that hymn, fragile yet courageously defiant, would drift across the years. It was a melody woven with longing and hope, nearly lost in the rush of history, but never entirely forgotten. Its spirit would reverberate. Outside, even hardened soldiers paused under the open sky to listen. The echo of that hymn, fragile yet courageously defiant, would drift across the years. It was a melody woven with longing and hope, nearly lost in the rush of history, but never entirely forgotten. Its spirit would reverberate through time, inspiring faith. At the break of dawn, their hands tightly bound by rough ropes, the procession of 23 souls moved sorrowfully from the sacredness of sanctuary to the uncertainty of exile. Each hesitant step meant saying farewell to safety. Every hard-won mile stretched on, layered with accumulating dust, heartbreak, and silent pleas for divine comfort. No rest, no mercy. The road itself became a relentless teacher, forging character through burning sun and grinding fatigue. Each step etched lessons of humility, reminding us that spiritual growth is not forged in comfort, but through trial and perseverance. This journey, though difficult, molded hearts into vessels fit for divine purpose and holy endurance. Sister Irene, now elderly and fragile, suddenly collapsed on the path. With gentle hands and tearful hearts, Magdalena and Anna carried her until darkness surrounded them. The next morning, Sister Irene slipped peacefully away. Her burial a humble offering, the earth gently covering her as whispered psalms mingled with the stillness of dawn. The soldiers did not speak or interrupt, and with humble reverence, Hassan silently marked his ledger, recording the truth without complaint or fear 22 remain. In that quiet moment, the unwavering resolve and faith of Hassan became a testimony, reminding us that sacred endurance shines brightest when we simply continue doing what is right. In time, another stillness fell. Sister Callista, wounded in spirit and mind from the siege, could journey no further. As she gently sat and did not rise again, the road waited. The devoted travelers moved forward, their numbers slowly fading, hearts learning the high cost of hope and perseverance on sacred ground. At Volos, the sacred port city, the survivors, now just 18, were utterly transformed. Their silence was no longer a plea, but a quiet proclamation of chosen endurance. In their hearts they declared, "Our suffering is our own sacred offering, unstealable, a badge of courage, deeply etched by faith and perseverance." On the seventh sacred day, Hassan called Ilani aside. The details of what transpired within his tent remained hidden from Ottoman records, but were preserved in a merchant's trembling letter. She returned empty-handed, her soul wandering, yet her lips quietly murmured prayer, a silent promise clinging to hope in the gathering shadows. For the rest of the arduous journey, Ilani walked quietly, her spirit searching. The younger sisters wept softly, hearts heavy with grief and hope mingled together. Elders clung to prayer as both shield and staff, trusting the unseen path. In holy silence and shared sorrow, faith guided each weary step onward. In the harbor, the captives were packed onto the damp galley, each bound with cold iron bracelets, chained tightly to rough wooden oars. Their names vanished, stripped away and replaced by numbers on a lifeless manifest, their value spoken of as mere property, their humanity fading into the chill dawn silence, making each moment a test of endurance. Yet in their hearts, hope, though feeble, flickered on and would not die. Magdalena, steadfast to the very end, recited sacred psalms, and with each gentle cadence of her voice, she brought calming comfort, light in the darkness, to frighten captives from distant lands, even those chained along the benches. Her faithfulness quietly inspired hope and peace, reminding all that God's presence endures, even in exile and suffering. At last, the ship entered the Bosphorus, sunlight gleaming across its restless waters. The domes of ancient Constantinople rose before them, both radiant and formidable, a vision charged with hope and fear, a mystical city that promised either redemption or oblivion to all who arrived at its storied, sacred shores. Led softly through the winding city streets and vibrant markets, These Christian nuns became living emblems of conquest, foreign in appearance, mysterious in their presence, yet radiating silent humility. Each step reminded both onlooker and participant of faith's surprising journey, where surrender and dignity shine quietly amid triumphs and trials written upon every face. Passing through lush gardens and majestic palaces, the faithful knelt in the cold and looming shadow of Hagia Sophia, hearts trembling as they were made to witness the sacred center of their faith transformed, right before their eyes, into the glittering prize of a new conqueror's world. The silence echoed with prayers unspoken. A sister's gentle whisper drifts on the air, I breathe. We are home, yet everything familiar has shifted. Shadows of old joys and sorrow cling to the walls. Memories echo in silent corners. Through tears and silent smiles, we journey on together, both changed and blessed by what this sacred homecoming now means. The palace did not welcome them with radiant grandeur, but instead drew them deep within its veiled secrets, into winding tunnels and hidden, misty chambers where the stones exhaled the weight of ancient sorrow. Shadows pressed close, reminding hearts that every majestic place carries its own wounds and whispers, sometimes echoing louder than celebration. If you continue to watch, it is because you sense that some stones sing ancient truths, and not every tomb remains tight-lipped forever. Every time the sacred story is retold, light gently pushes out a little more of the darkness and hope rises, whispering that what was hidden is being revealed with grace and faith. In 2011, beneath the ancient Topkapi Palace, archaeologists broke through a deceptive false wall, discovering a chapel lost to the world. Crosses, etched by desperate, faithful hands, marked the walls, testifying to moments of hidden prayers and hope carved silently in darkness. Sacred longing meets stone, undaunted by despair's shadows. 4 words in ancient Latin, lux in tenebri luce, were carefully etched beneath the stone. The light shines in the darkness. This simple phrase bears witness to a timeless truth, steadfast faith enduring through every shadow, every challenge. Light pushes back darkness, reminding us hope and spiritual strength are forever unquenchable, persevering. Months passed, sometimes stretching into years, as these devoted women labored in deep secrecy. By day they served quietly, unnoticed, but by night they were saints, gathered in hushed circles, softly singing psalms and breaking humble bread together, trembling in the sacred intimacy of their courage-infused fellowship, hearts kindled by faith and hidden hope. No priest guided them, no scripture lay in their hands, only memory and yearning bound these souls together amid the darkness. Each whispered prayer became a slender lifeline they cast out, reaching for God in the silent night, trusting that heaven would hear and somehow answer their as more sisters departed, her line standing as a living testament to loss, love, and the precious remembrance of family ties enduring through sorrow. They gathered tattered fragments for altar cloth, transformed splinters into warm candlelight, each humble piece a sacred remnant. Every act, fueled by faith, became a quiet form of holy rebellion, teaching us that even what appears broken or discarded can be turned into radiant offerings of worship and hope. Memories became new liturgies. Tales of distant homes filled the heart. Bells once vibrant have grown silent, yet the memory of warm bread and the quiet morning light lingers. Each cherished remembrance, carried softly, becomes a sacred offering, inviting gratitude for what was and illuminating gentle hope for what is to come. A Venetian captive once wrote of haunting Latin hymns echoing from beneath the palace floors, a stirring scene many dismissed as fanciful legend. Yet, when careful archaeologists uncovered the ancient truth, legend became living history, inspiring awe. What was once hidden in darkness now shines in the magnificent, sacred light of discovery and faith. Yet, midway along the ancient wall, the crosses faltered. Their marks became hurried, desperate, and faint. Suddenly, the pattern stopped. In Ottoman records, this moment lingers as a whisper. Stories of cleansing, with names deliberately erased, their vigil ended and remembered only under the cold, heartless word, disposed, a silence that teaches, warns, and mourns. 18 sisters, unrecorded yet unforgettable, departed quietly as shadows beneath history's vast sky. Though their names faded from empire's memory, the sacred walls of their chapels still whisper the light of faith, courage, and devotion. Their lives left an indelible echo, teaching us to honor what endures long after the world forgets. Centuries rolled by until a curious French diplomat penned tales of mysterious Latin songs drifting from beneath the palace, initially dismissed as servant superstition. Yet in sacred quietness, the stones themselves testified differently. Hidden truths waited in silence, whispering their story to hearts patient and humble enough to listen and believe. In 2011, deeper investigation uncovered remnants of ancient wax blended with fragrant convent herbs, profound evidence that within those hidden chapel walls, their sacred lights burned through the night. Against the darkness, their faith defied every sultan's decree, shining steadfast, a testimony for generations of how courage and spiritual devotion outlast all worldly power. Beside Magdalena's bird, two gentle words appeared: "We endure." Yet endurance alone cannot capture the holy fire within their hearts. They became silent witnesses of hope, planting seeds in ground forbidden to blossom, igniting faith and courage where darkness ruled. Through their quiet strength, hope pressed upward, undaunted where none was permitted to live. Empires rise and collapse, echoes lost to the passage of time. But it is the small scratches made in quiet obscurity, acts unseen by crowds or forgotten by history, that truly remain. When the dust settles, it is hidden faithfulness, not banners or public proclamations, that endures in eternity's memory. 4 Latin words, carved by unseen hands upon cold stone, Lux in tenebri luce, echo through the ages, surviving empires and invasions alike. These sacred words whisper hope in any darkness, reminding all who pass that even when everything else crumbles away, the promise of light will always remain and shine eternally. What does this story teach us? It is not defined by doctrine or dominance, but by the enduring human spirit when forces threaten to erase identity. Even when everything outward is stripped away, the story reminds us that our true worth and courage are found in the unwavering resilience of the soul within. Armies can shift borders, rewrite the words of history, and impose their will upon the land, but they can never erase prayers that are quietly carved by desperate hands and faithful hearts. These sacred whispers persist, echoing through generations, bearing witness to hope and steadfast belief when everything else seems uncertain or lost. The women of St. Catherine did not experience triumph as the world defines it. They did not return to their homes or conquer their captors. Instead, their sacred victory was silent, enduring, a prayer etched upon cold stone, a hymn echoing through darkness, relentless faith radiating strength through centuries of hardship and invisible hope. History is inked by the hands of victors, yet memory is a sacred, living tapestry woven patiently by those who endured. Sometimes, its threads are revealed in marks or scars left where human eyes were never truly meant to wander, reminding us that what is remembered shapes our souls and our very destinies. Each cross etched into the ancient stone was an act of sacred defiance, and every whispered hymn became an anthem of courageous rebellion. Though the world might gradually forget the struggles of faithful hearts, these markings ensure that eternity remembers, for stone preserves both suffering and hope, long after voices fade. Soren Kierkegaard wrote, "Life is understood backwards, but must be lived forwards." These faithful women courageously stepped into the deepest dark, holding on to a hope unseen, yearning for dawn. They teach us that hope persists even when vision fails, calling us to walk onward in faith toward a future only God comprehends. Archaeologists wonder, how many countless nights did the sacred vigil endure among those shadows? Wax drippings and ancient scars insist it lasted for years. Imagine grieving souls persevering with unwavering commitment, their silent hope burning against darkness, teaching us remarkable faith can endure when all seems lost, and miracles can arise from steadfast hearts. Their faith, stubborn and bright, was not merely survival but a quiet resistance, an unwavering flame no emperor could extinguish. Through darkness and threat, they held fast to the sacred hope in their hearts, living the gospel with humble courage and silent resolve, teaching us endurance is a victory of the spirit. Now the Ottoman sultans lie as dust, their once mighty palace silent as a museum. Tourists pass lightly over tombs of sacred faith, mostly unaware that deep beneath their wandering feet, ancient crosses still endure quietly, bearing witness, whispering to eternity, that kingdoms rise and fall, but the faith that built them can outlast empires. That Latin phrase still lingers, like a gentle whisper at the edge of our vision, lux in tenebris luce. Drawn from the Gospel of John, it reminds us the true light shines on in every darkness, a sacred promise that even the deepest shadow cannot ever overcome or extinguish its brilliance. Sister Magdalena, the last faithful soul among them, etched her enduring hope into stone for unseen strangers, believing that even if all names are slowly erased by the winds of time, truth's light remains unbroken in every chiseled letter, a silent gospel testifying to love, legacy, and the quiet eternity that waits for all. Though the world sought to erase their memory, their prayer endures. You have truly heard their trembling voices. Let the sacred light kindled in their hearts shine on, undefeated, in your own memory and in your steps through darkness, so you may carry their hope as your legacy through every shadowy place you journey.